What's up, y'all? Welcome to Rock's Realm. It's Rock 33 here. We got a video that I would like to call Purpose is a Spiritual Agreement. This is something that I had meditated on last night, and I'm a writer, so when I get these channels or downloads, whatever you want to call them, I usually just write and I just continue to write. I'm a musician, so I'm a person that I like to I see a picture in my head, so I gotta write it down, and that's how I'm able to articulate my visions more clearly. So basically, my main intention for this video is to basically give y'all an understanding of how purpose or intention is a spiritual agreement and how God is directly related to your heart or your heart chakra, whatever people call it. So the first thing I would like to start it off with is something I had wrote. I had said, in order to experience fulfillment, you must serve a purpose. To serve a purpose, you must first be aware of your purpose. Where are you directing your energy towards? So a question that people constantly ask themselves subconsciously is, what am I doing? What am I doing this for? What's the purpose of this? What's the intention behind this? When somebody when you building with people, when you interacting with people, you naturally are trying to see what their intentions are. When 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 you build a bond with your friend, when you have a friend that you call a friend, that's when you understand their intention with you, their purpose for your life. Like, whether that's them just being someone you hang out with or someone you personally grow with, this is an agreement that you spiritually and subconsciously agree to. So this is why that saying, show me your friends, I'll show you what your life will look like. That's where that type of stuff come in, because you are only a mirror of everything around you, and vice versa. Everything around you is only a mirror of you. That's the paradox that we all say in different ways of, we are made in the image of God and things like that. So you got to understand that the energies around you are only merely mirrors of you, but you got to be able to know yourself to know that it's a mirror. So for the people that feel like they don't see that mirror, or some people understand the concept, but when you are at a place where you understand that everything around you is mirroring your mind, not really your personality or your sole purpose or your sole intention here, but everything will mirror whatever your mind is thinking about, whatever your emotions are feeling, whatever habits you have. So that's what I mean by everything is a mirror. Like, if you build a habit of going to work every day, you're gonna have the reflection of work. You're gonna have the reflection of progression. If you are a creator and that's all you do is just create, you around art all the time, that is who you are. Your mirror will reflect that. You'll most likely be around people, or you'll be in an environment where there's a lot of art. You will naturally put yourself in places due to these subconscious agreements that you place on yourself subconsciously. When you agree to things, when you laugh at things, when you are angry at things, these are subtle agreements. Whether that's your your emotional charge towards something is an agreement. If you are happy towards an experience, that's you putting charging into the game that you like this experience and you're willing to experience it again in a different form. And if you have a negative charge, this is you saying you don't like this experience and you don't want it to happen again. But with people not knowing that, that's how perception, how intention is shifted, and how awareness is even comes to the surface, is because you are able to point out where you are and where you're going. So in that, you gotta know what your intention is when it comes to any task you're doing. For example, my intention for this video is to get the core message out. I'm not really worried about how I get the message out. If y'all understand it, my main goal is to get the message out, so everything else will follow. Everything else will mirror that core intention that I'm trying to place into this video. You know what I'm saying? So I had also said, a purpose at the root is nothing but an intention, plan, or path. To serve, you must become a servant, which at the root means slave. And a cult, which is hidden culture, The term slave is symbolic of the initiatory path to trap your ego into a bond. This is usually subconsciously done when people attach their ego to a concept, a person, a place, or a system. This is done when you claim that you own something, when in reality you barely can own a thought. This is the root of why people cannot easily move on from things. It is literally a spiritual agreement or attachment. So this basically goes into what I was just saying, how naturally you're going to, your ego thinks everything, it owns everything. That's why killing your ego feels the way it is, because you are allowing things that are out of your control to move on. You know what I'm saying? The ego creates safety within yourself to make you feel like you're in control of your whole life when you're in control of certain things in your life. I'm not saying that you got no control of your life, but your ego will put an attachment that will keep you stuck to where you at. It's hard to control your life when your ego is controlling your life. You know what I'm saying? Your spirit needs to be controlling your life, but we tend to put our ego in front of us. We tend to put this mask on that we go out into the world day to day, and it's an act. But then you do this act so much you think it's you. Like for example, let's say you at home is how you is. You get a job, you at the job is an ego. That's a mask that you have to take on and off every day. But if you're not realizing that it's a mask, you may subconsciously put that mask on in a regular day environment that kind of mirrors your job. So let's say you work with customer service or something, or you work in a store, but every time you walk in the store, your body's naturally gonna go into that ego. Like me, when I was working at Walmart, bro, it like even when I stopped working there, bro, for months, like every time I walked into Walmart, my body shifted to when I was working. I was looking at the things I was supposed to look at. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, oh, I know the store like the back of my hand, not knowing that my subconscious is just shooting out these images and these messages that basically just saying that my ego is attached to this place. You know what I'm saying? When you sign a contract to get a job, you are signing a contract to make your ego be bound to that place. You know what I'm saying? This is what, like, this goes deeper into so many different contracts, things that you will sign that you're not really even fully comprehending that this is an agreement to attach your ego to. You know what I'm saying? So when I say this, please don't take it out of context. When I say that your ego is a slave or something like that, I'm trying to say basically the slave isn't a physical being, but it is a state of consciousness. It is a state of awareness. For example, for me to shoot this video, I gotta be a slave to myself, to my vision, to get this video out. Part of me don't even want to shoot the video. I'm gonna be real. Part of me would rather the message just get out. That's what I really want. I want the message out. But I have to low key get in this slave mentality. I have to get in this servant mentality to get to put the camera up, record it, edit it, or whatever I gotta do. That's part of the slave part. That's the suffering part. That's the sacrifice part. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The part of, you can't get nothing without giving something. For me to get this video out, I must give my time, my effort, my attention, my own intellect to this video. I gotta fully give myself to this video. I can't give piece of myself. If I give 50% of myself to this video, y'all only gonna get 50% of the full message. You know what I'm saying? So me making this video is another form of a subconscious contract with myself, though, with my spirit, you know what I'm saying, or with y'all, you know what I'm saying, in different forms. You could take your mind and place it in different places because the mind is connected to all. That is why, you know what I'm saying, you more powerful than you think just by having control of your mind. So with that I don't want y'all taking this context and making it seem like I'm calling you a slave or anything like that. These are actual terms and what the root word of it means. So when these words are said and when these words are used in history or in things, it'll let you know what was going on. It wasn't always a physical agreement. It was a spiritual agreement to get something out the way, to get something to manifest physically. You know what I'm saying? A slave is really just a thought form spirit used to produce a physical result. This is literally the hustler mindset, but without the mask of providing. Like now we call it hustling, we call it grinding, we call it this. But back in the day, that is slavery. You know what I'm saying? You hustling. You shouldn't have to hustle. You should already have it. That hustle mentality is putting yourself in a state of lack off rip. If you hustling for something, that means you lacking something. If you chasing after a bag, that means a bag has to be running away from you. You know what I'm saying? With these, you gotta say it out loud to fully be like, okay, that makes sense. Because some people may say like half truths or a half concept, and that gets taken out of context, but not knowing that, like, bro, we got a lot of rich slaves in this world. People, yeah, they got a lot of money, but they ain't got no time for themselves. They don't even know who they are. You know what I'm saying? So you got to look at it like a slave isn't it's not like something you could see just with your two eyes. You gotta read it. You gotta be like, this person don't even know they a slave. Cause a slave is a mentality. You know what I'm saying? So is a master. You know what I'm saying? A slave and a master is only your higher and your lower self. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta understand in the context of that is really just showing you polarity. So I have the slave self is mostly known as the lower self. The lower self is understood in the lower three chakras, which deal with stability, foundation, and building, which is the root chakra. We got creativity, feeling, and just that emotional safety. You know what I'm saying? That's the sacral chakra. And we got willpower and action, which is the solar plexus. So basically, your ego are these three things. Your ego is your foundation. Your ego is how stable you feel within yourself. Your ego is the creativity and the feeling that you have towards things. These are all lower nature things. These aren't bad things, but these are your lower nature. This is what grounds you to things. You know what I'm saying? You would need to know the foundation, the structure of something. You would need to know the creativity, the feeling behind something, and you would need to know the actions and the willpower to be able to make this physically manifest. So this is why the lower three chakras is explained in this context. It's more in a sense of this is these lower three chakras is what do the work for you. These is like the pawns. You feel me? Your lower three chakras isn't it is connected to physical things in your body, but in the context I'm trying to give you all, your lower three chakras is like it's literally like different spirits, different realms for your spirits, let's say. So the root chakra is more your stability. Like before you like let's say you have a vision, what is the stability look like? What does the structure look like? What is the flow like? You know what I'm saying? If let's say you envisioning a house, what does the house look like? The structure of it, not the design, the structure of it. And then when you get to the design, that's the sacral, that's the creative, the feeling. You're gonna have certain colors in the house, certain you feel me? That you now you're gonna be able to see it even more. Then the next thing you're gonna ask yourself is what is the action? What willpower type of energy must I carry within myself to build this house or to get this house built? Whether that's me getting money and paying a company to build the house or me building it by hand. Either way, it's getting manifested from my mind by me taking these steps. So you got to look at it in the context of in a cult, the real magic way from going from one room to the other is opening the door. People think magic is just so, you know what I'm saying? That's the ego trying to make it all that. Bro, you just understanding something is magic. You understanding something somebody don't is magic in itself. Magic is just science that's unexplained. So you gotta like they'll show you movies with these words to give you an idea of things that you do, but maybe not physically you could see these things, but the energy move. You know what I'm saying? You know when you fully let go of something energetically and for some reason life just start lining up, the more you just relax and you're not tense, that's energy. It's not supposed to be physical. But if you focusing on the physical and you need the physical to give you confirmation, then that'll slow you up. You know what I'm saying? Because the physical is comes after the spiritual. The physical is the last thing. It's the slowest element. You know what I'm saying? we need the physical to see things and attract things, but without that, like, it's all energy. You feel it. You'll see it in your mind before you see it physically. You know what I'm saying? And in your mind, it will come to you in the way you will understand it best. That's why people must get to know themselves, because you understand things completely different. Like me, I may see characters in my head, but you may see a different story play out. But we may get to the same understanding using our own process. You know what I'm saying? So that's where people, like, when it come to your purpose is acknowledged by you. Like you will know your purpose because it's for you. It's perfectly for you. It's not out of your element. If you naturally, you don't even got to be good at something, but it's just something that you do all the time. That is a purpose. Like, if you let's say you draw, but you're not like a you're not trying to be an artist, but you just draw for fun. You naturally, like, you could turn that into something if you just put that life force into it, and you carry that. You know what I'm saying? There's so many different ways you can move your energy and direct your energy into an intention or a purpose. You know what I'm saying? I had wrote down, to bind your lower self to a purpose is told in many messages throughout history, such as killing the ego. But you cannot kill it. You only can make it serve you, as that is the slave self to your master self, aka your higher self, which is understood with the higher three chakras, which would be your throat chakra, your third eye chakra, and your crown chakra. Your crown chakra is connected to universal consciousness. The crown chakra is why you and somebody across the room can understand something without even knowing each other. The third eye chakra is what is the visual. You get that light visual. You will get that quick. You you get your dreams through your third eye. You know what I'm saying? It just light. Your third eye is just, it is just shoot off light. You feel me? And then that light. These are all energy. You know what I'm saying? And it gets transformed to your thoughts. So it's so many different ways your energy gets transferred for you to understand, whether that's in thought form, a vision form, for you to speak it and hear yourself. And when you hear yourself, that's when you know what's true or not. When you say some shit and you like, oh, that don't sound right, you gotta wait till you say it, because this the throat chakra is for truth. Like, you'll know if you lie, you'll know if you're telling the truth. That's the point of the throat chakra. And then the heart, this is just the balance between all of them. This is the authentic self. So this is something that's naturally gonna do it. But the energy could move down to your solar plexus, to where your willpower, your actions, the moves you make, the steps you make is so according to that vision you had, or that thought you had, or that thing you said. You know what I'm saying? From your heart. And then you could take it down to your sacral chakra. This is where you get this feeling of, this is why I love this. I do love you. You wouldn't even know you love it without that feeling. You know what I'm saying? Without your chakra, your sacral chakra being activated to be like, I really love doing this. I got passion for this. Like, I wouldn't want to be nowhere else but here doing this right now. That comes from your sacral chakra. You feel all that. That's where the sexuality feeling come from. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't even be sexually attracted to somebody without your sacral chakra. You know what I'm saying? You could envision whatever you want with the person, but if your creative life force energy ain't activated with them, then you know what I'm saying? You got to look at it like this. These are all energy concepts. It's for you to understand, but these systems is in a way to where a kid could understand it. But if you don't allow yourself to try to understand it, you gonna be at a block every time. If you like, all right, the solar plexus has to be this, now you're at a block. But if you like, the solar plexus is willpower, and willpower to me is this. So that's where you got to use your own thought process in order to make it make sense for you. It's like the information that's given you is only 50%. You got to do the other 50. I could give you this information, but everything I said to you, you got to decode for yourself to understand. You got to be able to be like, okay, what he's saying, I agree with this because of this, because I thought of this before, because I said this before, because I experienced this before. Whatever the case is, you got to have a reasoning for yourself to why you agree to what I'm saying. I do not want nobody subconsciously agreeing or spiritually agreeing to something because it sound good. You know what I'm saying? Because That's what people do with energy too. You could make something sound good, but it's not true. So this is where, for you to know if this is true or not, you gotta hear this all the way, but you also gotta decode it for yourself. You gotta be able to align what I'm saying to your real life. You know what I'm saying? Decoding is, it's not taking things personal, but having that personal lens to understand that you are connected to everything. When you have that personal lens of this, I felt what this person felt on a different spectrum, on a different scale, on a different level, or in a different form, or in a different experience. This is where people be like, I got this many life forms, lifetimes, life. You know what I'm saying? These are just different experiences that we all have been through. We'll call them a life because that is how intense an experience can feel. It'll feel like a whole lifetime. You know what I'm saying? When people change their life around, they say, "Yeah, that was my past life." They mean that. They mean that. You know what I'm saying? That's real to them. So when people be like past life, I don't believe in past life because they probably still ain't get rid of something. So they don't understand that concept. But if you say it in this way, they probably like, oh, that's what people mean. Or some people may literally mean they past life, but you will have to ask them to get that 50-50 understanding of everybody got their own truth. Everybody understands something to their own level of awareness or consciousness. Like all this information is up to me to be like, this is where I'm at with this information, and I could be wrong, I could be right. I don't really care. My main goal is to get this message out, like I said in the beginning. So if an agreement goes against your higher three chakras, which is basically your visualization, your imagination, that inner child, like your inner child's higher three chakras was always open. That's why you could just do whatever. Like all your chakras was online. But then if they make you feel like you're not secure, if they make you feel like you gotta pay for everything, if they make you feel like your creativity ain't worth shit, if they make you feel like your feelings ain't worth shit, if they make you feel like the actions you do is only for them, if they make you feel like what you do ain't for you, of course you gonna feel insecure, uncreative, and a fucking sloth. You gotta understand that if they messing with the higher chakras, they're gonna it's as above, so below. If they can mess with these, they can mess with these, and if they can mess with these, they can mess with these. If they can mess with your root, they can mess with your crown. If they can mess with your sacral, they can mess with your third eye. If they mess with your sacral chakra, they can mess with your throat chakra. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? That gateway is the heart chakra. And that's usually where people want to hit at. People want to hit you in the heart. People want to hit you where it hurt. You know what I'm saying? People want to be petty. People want to get that side out of you because they want you to drop it. Let's say you see something for what it is. They want you to drop it down to the root. They want you to start over. Because once you get it to the crown and you fully understand it to like a universal way to where you could tell them, yo, this is that, this is that. But to get there, the what is it? The basically the sound for the crown chakra is silence because it's consciousness. This is like it goes into so many different things. I got my chakra posted up there just because I have forgot. But silence is part of your crown chakra. So like when you sit in the silence, when something is said and then y'all sit with it and it resonate, it's hitting your crown chakra. When people say, yo, take what resonate, leave what don't. When you take what resonate, you're taking something into your crown chakra to understand. To resonate, it gotta, you know what I'm saying? Your crown chakra is like a bell. You know what I'm saying? I'm visualizing like the root is like, imagine a V going up like this. The root is like the point of there, and then the crown is like that big circle at the top. It's like a bell, and it just shoots out to the universe or the God or whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? It's all symbolism. I'm an occultist, so I study things from the symbolism and I break it down for me. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to certain things, I don't just take it face value because at the end of the day, a concept always came from somebody else's mind. So even if I give you a concept, you will still have to understand this concept for your own. You will have to still break this stuff down to yourself to where you have your own words for this. So you could take a sentence I say and you could say it in your own words and it will mean exactly what it means for you, and it will be something completely different, and it will be a whole different perspective than mine. Even though you took the reference point of my whole sentence but made it make sense to you, now you able to, then I'll probably learn something from you from what I It could be a whole seed planted into you, and you water that seed into fruit, and you gave me fruit from a seed I gave you. It's like that. That's where people that's where people ego would be like, they stole my idea, they did this. There's nothing new under the sun. It's just in a different form. When we understand that there's nothing new under the sun, that everything goes through the process of all the elements over and over, different concepts of these elements, whether that comes through like bro, energy is either gonna come in thought, action, emotion, spirit. You know what I'm saying? Just so many different aspects. It's gonna find a vessel, and it doesn't have to be a person. It could be a song. It could be a video. People not understanding the vessel is a container. You know what I'm saying? So like me making all this in a video, this video is a vessel. You know what I'm saying? The camera that's recording it is a vessel. The body that I'm in is a vessel. The everything you gotta look at everything different, bro. Cause I feel like what fucks people up is that they need to personify everything. They need everything to be a human to be alive. They need, you know what I'm saying? And that's where you understand fire is alive, water is alive. You know what I'm saying? Air is alive, earth is alive. We don't subconsciously call her Mother Earth for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Mother Nature. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you want to call it, Father Nature, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I believe in androgynous, so I believe it's both sides. You feel me? Mother and Father Nature is two sides to it. It's polarity and everything. So when you understand that, it'll get you in a mental state to where you're not a victim no more. You'll see it play out, but you're not a victim. You'll be able to make a decision for yourself. You won't have somebody else's thought creating an action or habit for you. You won't be living a life that somebody made for you. Like I understand, like as kids, you know what I'm saying, the adults around us, they subconsciously gonna create our life for us. They're gonna be like, oh, he look like he good at this. He's gonna be this when he grow up. Or he quiet, he's shy, he's da da da, he's this. And you agree to it. You're like, yeah, I guess I am that. I guess I am that. But whole time you not. Whole time you just a kid. Whole time you just processing, but you agreeing to these things they calling you. They saying this is who you are, and you're affirming it. And then when we get to this age that we at, we doing affirmations, we doing prayers, we're doing all that. We're trying to reprogram ourselves from that anyway. But now we at a place in 2025 where we understand we all was programmed. We all trying to reprogram our mind. But the thing is, the whole point of all these systems was for you to understand it, for you to pick a system, for you to program your own mind with. If you want to use all the systems, all the religions, go ahead. You can make it make sense for you. That's what I do. I use everything. I use everything at my disposal because there's nothing but untapped potential energy all around me. Why not use it? Why not use it? Because if I'm not gonna use it, somebody else will. There will be a vessel that will. That is law. That's natural law. In another word, what one person won't do, another person will. People say that in so many different ways. You know what I'm saying? I don't even gotta go over on that concept. But so in order to experience fulfillment, you must put your ego under submission to your highest vision. The sacrifice is always your old ways of being to create renewed ways of being. You must give up an experience to receive an experience. This is karma, aka cause and effect. You must give something to receive something. For example, you have $1, you give $1 to get a snack. Or for that person, they gave a snack to receive $1. So 50-50 split regardless. But if you don't value that dollar as the snack, that's where you get that tension. So that's where you would have to meet people where they are always. Like even us using money right now, some people don't even take US dollar. They gonna take something else. They gonna take crypto before they take US dollar because they understand the value. So you gotta understand that everybody got their own perspective. So this is where it would be best for you to not leave all your eggs in one basket and to spread it out, to be like, okay, I'm using in the context of financing since that's what we on. Let's say US dollar, crypto, and then not only that, tangible assets, you know what I'm saying? Gold, some shit, you know what I'm saying? Not even that, a business, a whole business, that is an asset. You are an asset because you could create an idea, and that idea could be a business. And you have ideas every day. So if you make, you know what I'm saying, if you feed your ideas, it will feed you back. That is the law of nature. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You know what I'm saying? I had said if an agreement, no, I already said that. Oh, nah, I have skipped over something. But basically, if an agreement goes against your higher three chakras, this will cause an energy or spirit of suffering. This is told in ways like you strain away from God, or you can't hear from spirit, or da da da. It's because your chakras are misaligned. When your chakras are aligned, and you don't even got to use chakras as a system. If the 7 days of your week is off balance, because everybody follow that system, right? That is the chakra system as well. 7 days, seven chakras. If all of them is in, if one of, you know what I'm saying, if your Monday start off bad, your whole week bad, right? If Monday starts the week for you, that's where it depends on for whoever it is. For me, it start on Saturday, but sometimes it start on Sunday because I could choose that. So you got to understand your brain it goes off a cycle. So the cycle started on Monday, so this is the start. And if Monday is a bad day and the connotation of Mondays is bad, you subconsciously already saying I'm finna have a bad week because it started off bad. So it's like you gotta get yourself out of so many different like mental social constructs that we will say as a joke, but not knowing these jokes is making our life go through this shit. So you gotta understand like it's more your ego wants to attach to everything. It wants to make everything true for the moment. It wants to be right all the time. But sometimes you gotta be like, okay, that makes sense for that moment. I'm in a whole different moment now. Let me use some different information. Let me use the vessel I was given by God to do what I need to do, and not take advantage of the gifts that was given to me. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you gotta give up an experience. So that's karma. But so basically, to explain karma is cause and effect. So cause and effect is what you give, you receive. You know what I'm saying? It's not just saying if you punch somebody, somebody randomly gonna punch you, but the energy of you punching that person that you gave them. Let's say somebody made you mad, and you impulsively punched them. Something impulsive is gonna happen to you. But let's say you thought it through. You was like, I'm not mad, but I need to defend myself. I highly doubt somebody's just gonna randomly punch you. But if the energy was to defend yourself, 9 times out of 10, if you do something that's crazy, the person is gonna defend themselves. And that's how the law will work too. Whether you doing something good or bad, let's say, for example, you give a homeless person some money. When you down bad, it's not gonna be the next day you get money. It's gonna be when you is in the same position as that homeless man. Somebody's gonna lift you up like you did that person. So you gotta look at it like that. It's not always gonna be the same format. This is why you must drop your ego so you're not attached to these physical things, because spirit and energy travels into different vessels like that. It's based on the agreement. If a vessel wants to take over a spirit and it wants to be mounted by a spirit, let's say a person want to be mounted by a spirit or whatever the case is, or you want to put a spirit into an item, you know what I'm saying? That is an agreement. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta, it is that serious, because when we look at things as, oh, it's fairy tale, it's like in the movies. No, it's not like the movies. The movies don't even understand the concept. The movies only could give you like their own perception of it, the director's perception of what's going on in real life. Don't go off no movies when it comes to no spirituality or no religion, because you watch these movies and that is what programs you. You know what I'm saying? You don't even read the Bible for yourself. You're gonna watch something and that's gonna tell you what the Bible's telling. Nah. Same with even going to church. I'm not saying don't go to church, but when the pastor tell you something, take notes, and you gotta make that make sense for you. You know what I'm saying? Like me when I was a kid, I was growing up in the church. I'm not a Christian, but I still practice certain things in the Christian religion. You feel me? I do read scripture, but I don't read it face value. I decode it for myself and I apply it to my life. You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand these systems is only put in place for you to decode things. It's like it's tools for you. It's tools for your mind, just how your body's a tool for your mind to manifest things. You can't just make it appear. You gotta do some work. And if you not gonna do the work, you gotta know how to tell somebody to do the work. And that is what AI is. And that's where a lot of people get fucked up at because they don't even know how to tell themselves to do something. So how are they gonna tell a robot to do something? And that is where society's at, where some people know how because we've been communicating with people that know how to communicate with people, and people that know, okay, people that understand how processes work and how programming works. And it's not just like technology programming, but until this until this person or thing knows what it's doing, I gotta push it. I gotta push it. And once it knows what it's doing, I let it roll. And another example, that's planting a seed and watering it and letting it grow. And then you ain't even got to water it too much because guess what? It rains. That's natural law. You ain't got to do everything. You know what I'm saying? But my whole point is the heart chakra is karma, which is cause and effect. But I'm taking this into the heart chakra is cause and effect, which is represented by the number 8, and 8 is representing the auric field of your heart. Because you look at 8, it got the top circle and the bottom circle. The top circle is your higher self, the bottom circle is your lower self, and the middle is like your heart chakra, the gateway between the higher and lower self, the threshold, the crossroads, whatever you want to call it. That's that middle part of it. But then if you take this 8 and then turn it sideways, it turns into an infinity sign, which represents a butterfly effect, saying what you do in the now affects the future and the past, which affects the positive and the negative. For you to make a decision, it will be polarized, is what it's saying. What I'm trying to say. But what the concept is trying to say is that anything you do will be polarized. Anything you do is good and bad. It's up to somebody else to say it. What you do is already neutralized, but how people take it is based on the polarity that they have within themselves. Let's say somebody attaches them, because we're all androgynous at the end of the day. Let's say I only attach myself to my masculine energy. I will not be able to receive nothing feminine. I won't be able to receive no nurturing, no care, none of that. I'm going to be, you know what I'm saying, what they taught toxic masculinity. That is just a man that don't realize he got feminine energy too. And then a toxic female, let's say a woman who just, and the toxicity for the female is overgiven, just nurturing everything and not nurturing herself. That's, and then when she get that masculine energy within herself, she gonna protect herself a little more. She gonna be like, I ain't gotta do everything for everybody. They got two legs just like me. And that's where we at a society where I feel like the collective masculine and feminine is like, oh, we don't really have roles. It just switches. That's what androgynous is, but we only got to, that's a whole different video. But basically my whole point is that these concepts mirror each other. The lower 3 and the higher 3 chakras are polar reflections of the heart chakra. So I'm ending this off with some quotes that popped in my head that go along with this, which is the we are made in the image of God. The we is polarity speaking. When you read the Bible and it say we are the whole point of Adam and Eve is to show you what polarity is. Even with the Cain and Abel, showing you polarity. Even with the same side of polarity, even though they were both boys, one was good and one was bad. And then when it comes with Adam and Eve, man, female, it's showing you that these are these are two things. The reason why they fell from grace is because they gave each other roles. They said, "You're a female, I'm a male." You are you put they put them in the ego box. I'll trap you in the ego. You're this. You're not human. You're a female. You're not a human being. You are a female now. That, you know what I'm saying? And then it goes from there to, oh, now you have a name, and then now you have to apply. You have this last name, and now you gotta continue to be just like the rest of the family. That is a program. You know what I'm saying? Or you got this, bro. This goes into everything. Shoot, gang banging, whatever. They program. They gonna let you know they program, bro. They don't like they at least they understand they program. But if people understand that they be looking at gang bangers, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Bro, you gang banging too, just in a whole different form. You gang banging religions. You gang banging system. You gang banging your jobs. You know what I'm saying? You set tripping on everybody about whatever perception you have because you have an ego attachment. You know what I'm saying? So it's just you gotta understand these type of things. Another quote that goes into this is First John 4:8, which it says God is love. Love is the heart chakra. God is a frequency for one. God isn't a physical being, it's a frequency that's in all of us. And that frequency lives in our heart. So isn't love like hate? Hate is only lack of love. You can't even hate nothing. You gotta be taught to hate something. You can't even hate nothing. Like, for example, for me to not like fire, I gotta burn myself. I don't just not like it. And honestly, to burn myself, I gotta like it to even want to touch it, right? So you automatically love things. You may love things too much, and that's what hurts you, and that's what hate is. That's when you learn, okay, not to give too much to this. So you know what I'm saying? You gotta take the concepts and you gotta be real with yourself though, because I can't speak for everybody. I only can speak for myself. But God is a frequency, but they say this and they say the heart is the seat of the soul. They say the heart is where God lives, the throne where God lives. You feel me? Your heart. And then they say the heart must be as light as a feather. That's for my eye. You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand all these different systems, all these different religions are saying one thing, that God is your heart at least, or your heart chakra, or the love frequency. But God is a frequency within everybody that everybody got, but they got to know it's within them. If you don't know it's within you and you think God is outside of you, you're automatically going to think you the devil, because that is what reverse psychology gonna do to you. If God ain't in you, if they making you have to pray to something outside of you or to need it, how about take God out of it so we don't make it too spiritual? Let's say you can't do nothing without another person. That is stripping you from your birthright to do whatever you want. You got 10 fingers, 10 toes, 2 legs, 2 arms, 2 ears, 1 mouth, 2 nostrils, all this for you got 2 sides so you can build on your own. But when you build on your own, you will attract those who build like you, and then that is your team. That's your village. That's whatever you want to call it. You feel me? But at the end of the day, my main message is God is the heart chakra. Like, you don't gotta take it as that, but I'm giving a concept so you could grasp it in your mind. You don't gotta agree to it. But then you'll be like, oh, that makes sense to at least one perception of God. So somebody could be like, it's not what everybody's saying in the church, because that just loop around. What is God? But then you be like, God is a frequency, or God is a this, God is everything. But if somebody explain you, maybe that take somebody, you feel me? Because God is being put in a box, and that shit is crazy. That how is God everything, but you putting it into a box. Even that right there, I just caught it. Even that program, God's a him, that instantly put you on a polarity. That's why God is androgynous. God is man and female, because for you to create something, it gotta be you. For you to create man and female, you gotta have male and female within you, right? It's just it's that's really it when it comes to this. But it's just the main point that I'm trying to get to is that these subtle agreements that we do affects our heart. These subtle agreements is what makes our heart lighter than a feather or heavy as shit. The agreements that you made yesterday may go against your vision. You may not know that little snack you had go against your vision of being muscular, because it may seem small, but the small things have butterfly effects, which is cause and effect. You make that one shift in your diet, now you don't eat this no more. Now you done broke a genetic curse that your family had, because let's say they had diabetes. So it's just the fact that every person leading up to you had diabetes because they didn't choose to eat something else. That's the only reason they had diabetes, was the habit that they passed down. Everything genetically is a code, and that code is passed down through habits. You could change your genetics just by changing your habits. You feel me? So when you be like, oh, I got it from my mom, I got it from my dad, yeah, through the habit, and you could break it. Don't, cause you gonna get to a certain age, you can't blame everybody for, you can't blame everything outside of you for everything, cause then you're gonna realize that you in control of more than what you know. You in control of your decisions, your choices, the agreements you attach yourself to. You know what I'm saying? You can't be just going out here just, I'm not saying to be cold, but don't just be going with the flow of everything without checking it. Don't, you gotta question everything. You gotta be that one person in the room that says this don't sound right. Cause you could save everybody in that room just by saying what you feel. You know what I'm saying? Like it's been so many situations where like bro, I've been in situations where I was scared as shit to say something, but me saying it made somebody else feel safe to say how they feel about it, and then that made somebody else, and then now everybody's saying something. You feel me? So it's like when 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 you understand that everybody will mirror you, and you realize people just, we all just seeing, yo, is we tripping? No, we're not tripping. But you gotta know you're not tripping for you to not trip. You gotta affirm that you're not tripping. Cause if you say, am I tripping, you in that threshold of you either going to trip or not trip, which is polarity. When you're questioning something, you put yourself in that threshold, in that crossroad of, should I do this? Should I not do this? Is this good or is it bad? But what will help you better is what's good for me and what's bad for me. It'll be easier to make that decision. And if you want to take it even bigger, what's good for me, what's bad for me, what's good for me and good for the collective, and what's bad for me and bad for the collective. It will be easier for you to just make a decision, because you can make a choice for you and others. So you're not even gonna feel selfish. You're gonna be like, I'm doing it for me and them. I'm doing it for the within and the without. Karma. Like you reap what you sow in different forms. So you gotta, I'm gonna be saying this over and over. The energy got me moving, but that's really just the end of the concept that I really was trying to deliver. I trust that I delivered it in a way where y'all could visually just understand it. The message, the whole point is God live within you at the end of the day. Your love is your frequency. Your love is what comes back to you. The amount of love is what comes back to you. If you give no love, you're gonna get no love back. You're not gonna get hate. You're just not gonna get love. But if you give a lot of love out, you always gonna get a lot of love back. And that is law. And that's just something, I'm just ending it right there because I'm gonna just keep talking. But yeah, thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. Have a great day. Have a great life. Shit, if this the only time you watch a video of mine, shit, I pray you enjoy the rest of your journey. And if you fuck with the videos, come back. I appreciate the support. But that's really it for it. And yeah.